We looked around us and saw that the existing content management systems available were not, according to us, up to par with what we thought a modern and in some parts rethought system for a new type of newsroom would look like. So we set out to, with rapid innovation and continuous delivery, build a tool iteratively together with the newsrooms, but also with a high level of involvement from user experience experts.
What is the main philosophy when you are developing this platform?
I think one of our core philosophies is to do minimum viable products and get features and functions out as early as possible to evaluate them and then reiterate on them together with the users, rather than trying to come up with a perfect solution from a technical side of things.
You have software engineers in 5-6 media houses as part of this project, and they are located in Stockholm, Oslo, Krakow, and even a person in Gdansk. How do you make all this fit together?
We have a very digital work process, which is highly asynchronous. It's very driven from text-based conversations, such that people write and make decisions and discussions happening in effectively or in our issue tracker. Our chat software has effectively become our virtualized office. And while we do aim to get everyone together a few times per year in the same location to have all hands and a more social meetup, a lot of the daily pulse of the organization is in the chat, and the decision making and the design discussions and code reviews are all happening asynchronously in digital tools.
And how well is this way of working functioning?
In my experience, very well, and it's a very different way of working. And for the individual, I think one of the biggest things is that one might work on a task and submit it to get a peer review on code you have written, for example. But when you've submitted it, you then go away and do something else. So you context switch effectively until a later time when there had been feedback on what you did. So it's a more of a back and forth, and I think most of the people are doing more than one thing at the same time and progressing them slowly. But overall, I think the technical quality and the pace of delivery of the organization as a whole is very good and very impressive.
To what extent does cultural differences come into play here between Swedish, Norwegian, Polish software engineers?
I think in my view on that is that I don't think a lot of people have worked in this kind of distributed team at all. We've tried to make that very clear in our recruitment process to make sure that people understand that this is the way we work. But ultimately, I think everyone who's joined us has had to get used to making themselves seen, for example, and actually take an active part in discussions on their own accord rather than being asked to. So we have a very open process and everyone can participate, but you also have to participate. And that is probably not the usual way of doing things.
What does this require from the individual software engineer?
It requires an eagerness to participate and collaborate. There's a lot of written communication, so in English then, as that's the language that we share across all these locations. So written English is very important, and a well-written and well-composed description of a problem makes it much easier to have a constructive discussion around it. So active participation but to a very large extent written communication.
What is the main goal for 2017?
Main goal for 2017 is to converge our various logically equal tech stacks within our media houses to one shared technology stack, and to at the same time establish and onboard people into our new organization that is tailored towards this goal of reusing and sharing technology to a much higher degree.
And then when you have converged everyone to the same platform, then what is your big hairy goal?
Once that convergence has happened, one of the major things to do is to draw benefit and leverage that organization to do more rapid and parallel feature and product development, but also to figure out and establish the process in which we, within this organization, harvest best practices, share features, and roll out things across products, harvest and platformize experiments, but also how do we decommission things in our platforms that are no longer warranted to make space for new technology.